Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Cinema Circle, the show where we talk and do movie reviews of all your favorite releases coming out of Hollywood. The show that is for the fans, by the fans. I'm your host for today, Mr. Scenario Shaquille VonJevy, and joining me as usual is Anthony Hunos.
What's up everyone?
And joining us for the first time is one of the co-stars of our new film, To Kill a Secret, Jamal Pink.
Hey guys. Thanks for having me. I got new socks for this. I don't know if you I really did. This is new socks.
All right. So the movie that we're talking about today is Creed 2. Let's check it out.
He broke things in me that ain't never been fixed. It ain't worth it.
It's not just us anymore, Dick.
I want to rewrite history.
If you want to fight this man, that's your business. But don't pretend this is about your father.
This here is all about...
Guys, we just finished watching Creed 2. What did you guys think about it? You know, let's start with the good. Let's start off with you and ease Jamal into it.
Yeah? Okay, sure. Well, the first thing that I kept noticing was honestly the cinematography.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, every time I was watching, sometimes I would snap out and be like, oh shit, what's going on in the story? Because I was looking at the shots and the lighting. I really like the use of blue and the contrast of colors that they use throughout the movie. And I think the story is, it's a nice, you know, your usual struggle and triumph and victory story, which I really, really liked. It was predictable at some points, or a lot of points for me, but I don't think it took away from the satisfaction that you feel by the end of the story. So I really like the story. I think that Michael B. Jordan did a great job, as usual. I think he portrayed the character in a good way that makes you feel for him and makes you feel the struggles that he's going through. And I think, well, obviously, I mean, Sylvester Stallone, he's the boss man, so I think he did a great job too. And yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the movie.
Yeah.
Jamal?
I think, even though this might not be popular opinion, I really found myself like rooting for Victor, especially not the first fight, but the second fight, like kind of seeing everything. I mean, I don't know if this is spoiler free.
No.
You can spoil.
Okay, don't kill me on the internet. Especially like for me, the stuff about like with his dad saying like that's why she left us, and I always got the sense that Victor never even really wanted to kind of be involved in all of this.
Like his dad.
I got that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I found myself feeling for him, and he was just some kid. Like he was still that little kid caught up in all this stuff. Oh, mom left, and blah, blah. And it's all because of Rocky. So even though he couldn't fight Rocky, he was fighting Rocky through...
Yeah.
I
saw that.
So that's what made me feel for him, because he, to me, still felt like he was just some little kid trying to just get it all back. Yeah. So that's my opinion. But
yeah.
I think the good for in this movie for me was definitely Michael B. Jordan. It's crazy seeing his progression over the years. I've been watching him since Hardball, way back, and just to see how his career has been escalating and what he's been able to do with his acting style, I think that he's going to be here for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely very talented guy, and he still has a lot of room to grow, right? I don't think he's reached his cap. I think that he is well on his way of being something great or being something memorable within this industry. Other than that, I thought that the cast was great. I mean, they're back again, right? Not really any additional members except for the few people, but the cast, they really brought it together, and you know, you could see that, you know, they all cared about the film, cared about the story, and cared about their characters. I love the cinematography in this. The cinematography was great. I actually, it was something that I noticed, and it's also something I noticed because of the first one, right? I did kind of like the cinematography in the first one better, but I felt like the choreography and everything with the fighting was cool in here with this one. I did like I like the emotion behind the story. I don't want to be too hard on the story because it is like your typical revenge plot, you know, failure, victory type story, right? So I don't want to be too hard on it because it's just like, or else if they didn't do that, we wouldn't have got a Creed 2, right? So it's just like you don't make any other movies. And I feel like it was nice to see where they went, you know, the next stage in his life. So I really like those elements. And I think that the chemistry between Tessa Thompson and Michael B. Jordan was definitely there.
the entire film was the fight. You know what I mean? Overcoming everything. And he was fighting against himself, really. Not to be cliche. But that one scene in the film when he was so broken, I really felt like, you know, like, because I'm forgetting this is a character now. I'm really thinking like he's not fighting ever again. Especially when Rocky came in and that scene with the blood and the urine and stuff. I felt like he was done.
That,
So I think the fight was really the whole film. They did a great job.
The silence that they used to put you in Michael B. Jordan's shoes.
Yeah.
In those moments, like the ringing silence you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like that, they did a really good job of that.
Yeah, they didn't overuse it. So when they did use it, you really felt it. And I really liked, again, the sound design in the scenes where he was underwater. And it wasn't even like anyone was talking to him. You know, it was like the voiceover of his mother talking to Tessa Thompson's character. And the fact that like you couldn't hear what they were saying, it was like, you know,
like it was as if he was underwater.
Yeah. And he was underwater, and then when he came out, you heard her, and then whatever. So I thought that was a very interesting choice that worked. So I really liked that.
One more thing I kind of want to bring up about the sound. I don't know if you guys noticed, they had a really great part in the film where the second fight, he gets knocked down, and he's like rocked, and he's like struggling to get up, and it's dead silent, and you see Rocky talking, you see the crowd going, you see Drago, you see, I don't remember the other dude's name who was in his corner.
Oh yeah.
The other dude who was in his corner.
Oh no, I think I know where you're getting.
But you don't hear anybody. And then you hear Tessa Thompson's character, get up.
Yeah.
And he heard that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that really, especially because the chemistry that the two characters have throughout the whole thing, that really stood out to me. So.
Yeah, I thought it was just really cool too, like on that of all people to hear, it was her, and she's the deaf one. So it kind of was it's like, you know, she's the voice that he heard. So, or at least that we as the audience heard. So
I didn't even think about that. Wow. Man. Yeah. I shouldn't even be on the show.
All right, so you know every movie has its flaws. No movie is perfect except for Infinity War. No, I'm joking. Let's talk about the bad about this movie. Do you want to start?
I do not.
Okay, Anthony.
I mean, I wouldn't say there was anything so bad that I would have to criticize it to the point where I would mention it. But something that I did say earlier was the predictability. It was predictable. Like I knew it was gonna end how it did. It was just a matter of how it was gonna get there. But again, that's not something that I would knock them down for, because with a story like this, you can only go so far to not make it predictable. I feel like, you know. So I think, I don't know. That's the only thing that I could think of as a negative. I think everything else was really strong. So.
For me personally, again, I feel like the story was probably the weakest part of the movie. The things that were in the story, though, like the elements that created the story, were great.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just the overall, like the shell of the story was basic.
Yeah, predictable.
Right. Yeah. But they filled it in with nice juicy stuff for us. You know, like for a plot that we've seen already. They filled it up with some good stuff for us. But other than that, I felt like I don't even like, because this is the second one, I feel like the first one I felt a lot more. It didn't hold the same weight as the first one did for me.
Okay.
And that's me nitpicking, because I didn't feel it the way I felt for the first one. I thought that they were going to drag me deeper into him. And they didn't.
I think his victory in the end could have came harder.
I feel like something that they could, and I don't even know if this was their intention, and I know that you felt it, but something that I didn't feel was the opposing side. I didn't care for them at all, and I felt like if that was their intention, then fine, but if it wasn't their intention, then they didn't make me feel for them at all. I felt like they could have did a better job at making us understand where that character's coming from, but like, I didn't care, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like, and even with Victor, I didn't feel like, maybe if they had a few more scenes with him just to showcase that, and that's why I feel like maybe it wasn't their intention. It wasn't their intention, but they tried a little bit to make you understand, but I don't think that they did a good job. And if they were, then it didn't really reach for me.
I can agree with you with that. They could have really fleshed out that even more, because I found myself, even though I personally felt myself rooting, I didn't want him to beat Adonis, but I wanted that character's arc to end well for him still. I felt it when his mom walked out on him in the ring, and I didn't want his arc to just end so negatively.
I just feel like they could have had maybe a scene with the mother and him, or maybe a scene, like, I didn't feel that connection. I didn't even feel the connection between him and his father. I didn't feel that, you know, like, because he's such a big guy, and he feels so small next to his father. I didn't feel that.
Oh, okay. So
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like I heard it, you know, I'm reading the subtitles and I heard it, him saying like, get up or finish him or whatever. And it's all these things that, you know, Victor's not saying himself, like, oh, I'm going to break this guy, I'm going to kill this guy. It's not anything that he's saying. It's his father saying it and he's just taking it in and he's doing it. But like, I didn't see anything. There was no chemistry there for me to really like grab onto and be like, man, I really feel bad for this character.
Part of me thinks that was probably their intention. I don't think they wanted to. Maybe they just didn't want the audience to feel for him. I know you did.
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't want to, you know, shed any more light on that, and they wanted us to feel more for Michael B. Jordan's character. Because I think the way that, you know, Victor's character was in this film was enough for you to understand that there's something there, but that wasn't the focus. They didn't really want to focus on that. I think that was probably intentional.
Yeah.
See, like,
So.
I think what it is for me, maybe that made me feel, because it's just, it was never really something that was communicated so well between the actors. But I just felt maybe like Victor did a good job in his facial expressions and reactions to the things like finish him.
Yeah.
And I could tell he didn't really want to do that. Break him. He didn't want to do that. And to me, the whole film, he felt just like some kid just being dragged along through all this stuff that he didn't really want to be a part of. And I think that's what garnered my sympathy more so than any of the dialogue or, you know what I mean?
No, I see that. What did you think was the bad of this movie?
Victor's arc. I think
Victor's
I would
arc,
have liked it to end a little differently, be fleshed out a little differently. I mean, obviously it still worked for me, but I think there was a lot more potential for his character. You know, this is my opinion. But
all right, let's go to the verdict.
I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think they kind of did play it safe in that, you know, they kept it very, you know, I don't want to say standard, but they kept it, you know, I don't want to say cliche either, but, you know, it's your standard story of, you know, here's a character here that's aiming for something, and by the end of it he gets it. And you know, there wasn't so much along the way to, you know, make me feel like, oh no, is this actually gonna happen or not? Like I said, it was predictable. But it wasn't terrible either, which is why I don't think it deserves a grade lower than 7.5. So I'm gonna keep it safe there.
One thing I didn't mention was that I loved the comedic moments in it. And I just remembered that now when you gave it your rating. I don't know why. I was gonna give it a 7, and I think for the comedic moments, for the lighthearted moments within it, I think I am gonna go with a 7.5. I don't think it deserves any more than that. I feel like
it's not a terrible movie at all.
It's not a terrible movie. It's a really good movie. I would definitely watch it again. It definitely has that character. Like, if you like character movies or character-driven movies and whatever, it's definitely one of those pieces. But again, I mean, if I'm gonna compare it with the first one, which I think is fair because it is a branch off of the first one, I would go with the first one. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 as well.
I'm gonna go out there and give it an 8. So for me, a lot of the character moments, I just found myself, maybe I'm just sensitive, you know?
I'm real sensitive too when it comes to movies. Trust me, I'll be like, oh damn, like when he was trying to like.
I felt it. Like, I felt for Adonis too. I felt for Victor. I felt even for Tessa Thompson's. I don't really know her character's name. But
Bianca or
Beyonce. I felt for Beyonce. Like the hospital scene, the things with the ribs. I just really found myself rooting for like multiple characters when I usually just found myself rooting for the lead. So because of that, and because of the little subtle moments of humor and the sound and everything, for me, I would say it was a really good movie.
Oh, true.
And I'll give it an 8.
Well, what do we have to say about the director? This is his first film. This
was his first film.
Yeah, like his first.
I think he did a good
job.
You know, I think he did a pretty good job. I think for a first time director, I mean, this is if I was him, I'd be super proud of this.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Same.
I didn't even realize it was his first film.
Yeah, 100%. Like for his first film, I think that this is great. He's well on his way. So yeah, I guess we can end it off there. So I'm gonna pass it off to Anthony and make him do Kiki's part.
Shit. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can do so at cinema_circle. And if you want to email us for anything, you can do it at cinemacircle1@gmail.com.
All right. So from everyone here at Cinema Circle, I want to thank Jamal Pink for.
Do I get a
joining us.
plug? Do I get to plug my little
Plug
Instagram?
it
Go
right
ahead,
there,
yeah.
man, do it.
If you guys want to follow me, I don't know why. If you would want to follow me, it's at Noel_Pink, NOEL_.
We can
Pink,
put
like
the
color.
tag.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, I don't really do this, but yeah.
And on that note, follow To Kill a Secret on Instagram.
Yes.
Starring this guy, introducing this guy.
Yes.
Are you wearing it? Oh shit.
Oh wow, he's wearing it.
there you
Hey.
I always know I had flash for money.
To Kill a
To Kill a
Secret.
Secret.
Yeah, you could definitely
you
check
see
him
it
out
there.
in our new film, To Kill a Secret, that will be coming out later next year. All right, so from everyone here at Cinema Circle, I want you guys to stay blessed and always keep it 100. Peace. All right.
Yeah, that was fun, guys. It was a lot of fun. He's a super.